everybody, Drew Evans here, North 40 Fly Shop, Lewiston, Idaho. We're going to be tying up some flies today, and today we're going to tie the Bassmaster. This one in particular is going to be in chartreuse. Bassmaster is a great fly for both bass, as the name implies, but also can be fished as an attractor pattern for trout. It's a great fly to get your feet wet in streamers. If you haven't tied many streamers, it's a good one to practice some of those fundamentals like putting on eyes and using rabbit strip and also rubber legs. This one is a little bit different in that I'm tying it on a jig hook. So I'm using the Fly Project 90-degree size 1 jig hook. Using the Fly Project squatchy dumbbell eyes in 4.8 millimeter. I'm using UTC 210 fluorescent chartreuse for the thread. Using Crazy Legs from Hairline. These ones are chartreuse and black, and they call it yellow, but it's not really a yellow color, it's more chartreuse. I'm using chartreuse Estaz for the body. And lastly, for the tail, I'm using this Magnum rabbit strip from Hairline in chartreuse. Let's get into it. All right, so on this fly I've already put on my eyes just to skip a little step. On this I also put on some head cement, and the head cement that I used is JB Weld Super Glue. This is my favorite head cement. I highly recommend this. All right, so first things first. Get your thread on. Here's my tag here. So first thing I'm going to do is put on my rabbit strip. I've kind of cut mine to the length already. With this, you want it to be about 1.5 times the length of the shank, or roughly a shank length. And then on this, you want to cut a little V onto the back of that rabbit strip. Just gives it a little bit more swimming action, and it just looks a little bit better in the water. So for this, you want to tie it in, and also you want to go ahead and rip off some of this material here from the strip so you have a good tie-in point. We'll get our thread back to our tie-in point, which is going to be just in front of the hook point there. Get a couple good securing wraps. If it looks ugly, don't worry about it too much, because we're going to cover it up in just a second with our Estaz. Get it good and secured in. Looks good right there. Now I'm going to take my Estaz. I like to leave it in the packaging rather than cutting off a length. It's just a little bit less wasteful that way. I'm going to go ahead and get that secured on as well. I'm going to wrap forward. So, always going to wrap away from yourself. Palmer forward. And this doesn't have to be a super bulky body. I'm doing not necessarily touching wraps, but kind of looser wraps. You want to kind of preen those fibers back as you go forward, so you don't trap all those little hairs in there. And if you do get some trapped, you can pick them out with a bodkin or a brush. Looks pretty good right there. I might on this one go back over, just to give it a little bit thicker body. And really, if you wanted to on this, you could dress the shank with some lead wire if you wanted to get a little bit additional weight on your fly. I kind of like mine to be a little bit bulkier. Just looks a little buggier, a little bigger. I got that nice and wrapped. Secure that in. I'll do 3 securing wraps before I snip that off. Lost my little package there. sure that's good and secured in. Next, we're going to grab some rubber legs. You know, if you want, on this fly, I would recommend putting on like 2 sets of legs, but if you want more, you can put more. If you want less, you can put less. Pull those off like that. And then to secure these in, I take the legs and go around my tying thread and bring it up over the top of the fly. Kind of center them in between the eyes. And do 3 wraps on this. Maybe a little more. My legs are still attached together. I kind of like to stagger the length on these, so it gives it a little bit different swimming action, a little bit different look. Snip those free. Now, work forward, whip finish. I'm going to hit it again with some head cement, which again is going to be my JB Super Weld. It's got a nice little applicator on it, brush applicator. Lets you control how much you put on. You put a little bit more up top, let a little bit soak in around those rubber legs. And that is the Bassmaster. Thanks for watching.